I join. Say join. Magnificent. You okay? All right. Magic can risk him. It's my life. Okay. Sure. Okay. Funke, send request, please. Me alone. Okay. Hello guys. I'm so sorry for that. I wish I understood what was going on, but I don't. And well, this topic is actually a sensitive one. Okay. Finally. Ha. Yes, Shani. Ẹ̀yin màmá o, mojú bá yín o. Ah, abẹ́ touch the feminist ní Africa. Mo ti ń treat topic láti life wo nothing. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Good evening.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What about me? Can you hear me
Yeah,
too?
I can hear you. Definitely.
Apologize for the time wasting. It's not deliberate. I was on board. Well, we are here, and we have one more person to join. Let me just call him. When treating phone in this, I'm treating it with like an egg so that we'll be able to do this live. So, Bablo Abel, come. Once you join, send me a request. I don't want to tamper this thing again. Make I just do this live successful and I can't go know which I could do afterwards. I beg. Just send me request yourself, I beg. Yeah. Olufunke, finally. See your face. Say you to South London. I'm saying not London, South London. Bye.
South London.
Eku. Ẹ̀yin gangan lọmọ King o. Adabu distant relatives.
Is that enjoying now? London is suffer egg.
No. London, now everywhere they happen now. Everything happens in London. Our language Beriko. So thank you. I really appreciate you coming on board. I do not take all you my friends for granted. I think for one reason, I feel like you, my friends, are always saying this behind me.
I told my husband because I worked last night till this morning. Hi.
I'm coming to the proper introduction, but let me first apologize for this network issue. I'm sorry.
I can barely hear you.
You can barely hear me?
I can hear you very well now.
Okay. I said you're welcome on board. I apologize for the network
No,
glitch.
it's fine. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
Madam Funke.
Bablo.
Now your favorite.
Pablo, where they avoid make streets, they call him Pablo.
I don't be Pablo, I beg.
Pablo, na very loud street name. I beg, no acceptable.
What do you do now? Not today.
So thank you guys for coming on board. I know this topic is a very, very sensitive one, and people are going to learn because I want this topic to be some sort of a topic where people could actually look into this topic as a teenager, as an adult, as a Gen Z, an OG. We can pick something from this topic because I feel like we've been way caught up in the web of what we don't even know how we got into it. So thank you guys for coming on board. I know you guys are very busy people. I really appreciate it. I do not take you guys for granted. And for those that are now joining us and that has joined us before, please be encouraged to join us back. I appreciate you guys that has been following Street and Cathedral from the onset. Street and Cathedral, like I always say, it's an idea that God gave me. And to be honest, I will be dropping at each episode, I'll be dropping OT. I always say nobody give OT past Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ sat down with his followers and he said, make una come. Waiting that they talk about me for streets, how street people they see me. Everybody they talk say, they talk say you be magician. No. Some people talk say they do wayo. Some people talk say you know be correct man, you know be straight man. No, Jesus knew out of all those things. Say no matter what you hear for streets, some things go down there in your mind to say you go down they believe because okay after everything I don't hear all this gossip. Waiting I think say me I be everybody come quiet. But one wrong man, they are miss them. Now Peter in B. You know, say Peter a very wrong man. Peter na the guy where carry dagger, where first guide Jesus say, I'm on a street way. Jesus say, calm down. No be street way we go use now. Cathedral way we go use. Peter don't try, don't verify. Say Jesus they whine me. People where Jesus raised from dead, where people where rise. I know say Peter will don't send people go their family compound. Say I better go confirm. Say this person a cripple. It was not cripple. We born out like that. No, this person a correct man. No. Peter gonna talk say more. You now son of God. You see Jesus look at him say no, be streets. Oh, to give you this one. Na cathedral. So upon thy street will I build my church. I'm gonna give Bible teaching in a different way. I beg no vex. So now straight and cathedral. So this kind of conversations have been very, very. That's why we needed to talk about the feminism waves in Africa. And we'll keep it across. Although we are using these contemporary movies, Abejoye and Anikulapo. But first of all, let me throw it to the floor. Before we talk about that waves, it's waves in Africa, that I'll be asking the question, what is that concept called feminism to an African person? And what is feminism to an European person? Because we are African and we have to agree that from our history, there has been some sort of matriarchal, rulership in Africa. So what is feminism to us? What does feminism mean to an African? And what does feminism mean to an European? So will you be a gentleman?
Okay. Feminism generally, there's this misconception about feminism in Africa, or let me say in Nigeria. Let me use Nigeria as a case study now. We always believe that feminism should come from an aspect where we demonize men. Like if you check many so-called Nigerian feminists, like you have said, what they advocate for might not really be the gender equality that feminism is, that we all know feminism to be. They most time talk about things like men as scum. They teach women to disrespect men. And as a matter of fact, feminism is beyond that. It is beyond the way we see it in Africa or in Nigeria.
No, just stop there because we are still going to get that there. So, Funke, what does feminism mean to an African and what does feminism mean to an European person?
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm a note person, so I noted some things
No, it's okay.
down, and I have to look at my notes. So
You want to learn?
I would like to come from the perspective of what feminism is not. Yeah.
Okay.
First, I said it's not hatred for men. Then it's not effeminating men.
Please break that down for.
It's not trying to make men women. Then it's not oppression of men. It's not. Then feminism is not making men lesser than women.
So by virtue of it, all this, that means these are obtainable things that we've seen trending.
Yes, I'm coming to that. What I'm trying to say now is that I'll come from the broad spectrum of what feminism is. Feminism is simply an advocacy for equality. And then there has been a discussion that, okay, why not call it equality? But because we know it's directed towards a particular set of people, That is why it is called feminism. You all agree with me that to a very large extent, until most recently, I think I jotted it down, 1928, not all women could vote.
In where? Africa or where?
Now I'm talking generally now. In the modern politics, modern politics.
Let's separate which has. Let some people hold their issue. Has it been an African issue?
That's what I'm coming to. That is what I am coming to. I'm coming from, you said, what is it generally? European perspective and African perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, because we cannot entirely separate the fact that we are affiliated to the Europeans due to colonialism and all that. We have a lot that we share in common, right?
Please, like, can you stop you right there? Can you stop you right there? Because now you have gotten me to the next question. So I want you to launch. I wrote down the pre-colonial foundations.
Yeah.
And this is where we are now starting to juxtapose between Abejoye and Anikulapo. Now, in Abejoye, now these are practical things I want us to notice. In Anikulapo, you will notice that Shola Shobuari's character is an employer of labor.
Yeah.
A character, she could choose whatever man she wants to sleep with. And that Yoruba pre-colonial society was civil enough to let her express herself.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, men were working under as laborers, and they had no issue with the fact that. So, if we could notice that from now, let's come to Abejoye. We could also see in Abejoye that there are certain women like Kinkinyiwu that you cannot toy with. These are women that, to larger extent, due to forces, but these women are actually people who could actually have conversation, even straight to the king. Part of our traditional rights, respect these people. I don't even want to talk about the Yalode and Yaroja now. Let's talk about the King Kiniwu and the rest. So now, looking at that colonial foundation of feminism that we know, how did we get to the point where we think that African man, as an African man, we've always been subjugating, or our women need to fight for equality, when we in our society we could see the likes of the character of Shola Shobuale in Anikulapo pre-colonial setting, and Iyakeson and Kinkiniwu in Abejoye.
Okay, is it still me?
Yes, still you.
Okay, now I was trying to calm down from the broad perspective, because literally I'm trying to say that there has been a unison between African and the European. We cannot separate that, because when we are talking about feminism, we're looking at it in quotes now. Because if we tag the term feminism itself, it's in quote an European term. We could call it whatever we want in our own environment. What I'm trying to say is, it has come to it has come to a level now where there are a lot of misconceptions. I'm trying to debunk why there is the term feminism in the first place. Do you understand?
All right.
That is why I said there was a time people didn't, some women didn't have the right to vote and all that. Now, in an African setting, we would realize that African is practices Ubuntu for you, for me, for everyone. It is a community of people. We come together, we gather together, and we should understand that in every of such gathering together, everybody had their roles to play.
Even the women.
Yes.
Okay.
Even the women. That is why when you look at the movie Anikulapo, I'm not going to be talking much about Abejoye because I didn't really see it. But when we look at Anikulapo, you see that there is no setting where there is a decision making that women were not represented.
Just hold your thoughts for just 1 second. A big shout out to Evangelist Mike Bamiloye, Ekushi Opolo, and a big shout out to Kunle Afolanyo. These are your intellectual properties that we are sampling and we are juxtaposing, we're using as a conversation. So we need to also reference to Ekushi Opolo, thank you for all the years of giving us quality, quality production and movie. So shoot on, please, Funke.
So there is no way that you would see good decision making that women are not duly represented.
Okay.
Now, but at the same time, you would realize that the weight differs.
All right, Funke. I want Pablo to jump on board right now. Pablo, you remember using now it's still the same question, but I want to go further. In the pre-colonial setting, or let me say when during the colonial era, during the colonial era, things that has happened pre-colonial, we still we are still African people were still in that reality of it, that we had don't go here, we don't go, it's still very valid. There was a battle in Abeokuta between the Dahomey and the Dahomey warriors. They are known to be female fighters. Now, what does this mean? Female fighters, that means a female, women of a community come together to say we want to defend our land, train in the art of war, train in the art of defense, and they are so bold, so confident. They have the leadership. So we come from a matriarchal, society. So where did we, for heaven's sake, in Africa, come to this jumping onto the trend of feminism, thinking that there is some sort of battle of equality that we need to. So using that pre-colonial foundations, and also you can sample Abejoyi and Nicola in your conversations.
Okay, feminism itself is like a response to something, and that's more like the patriarchal tradition that has been pre-existing majorly in Africa. So, but we were not really Africa now this time, but of course,
in the world,
in the world, in the world. But we were not really conscious of the fact that even we as Africans, we have been practicing feminism for a very long. This gender equality thing, we have been practicing for a very long time, but we were not conscious of it. Funke said something the other time.
Can I say something?
Okay.
It's not that we were not conscious of it. We didn't have a term. We didn't term it because we didn't think there was a need to term it.
I was coming to that. That's more like not being conscious of the existence of that movement.
Okay.
Because we might just see it as something normal. Like he mentioned the Dahomey Amazons that were taking the position of warriors. And all these things, we African people see it as something normal. Like, okay, of course, because feminism is beyond bastardizing men or demonizing men, we talk about the role of women in the society, we talk about the role of women in history. And even till now, because people are not really paying attention to what they should pay attention to, they are not the real feminists. Somebody like Femi Osofisona now.
Yeah.
It takes some level of emotional intelligence to know that, okay, Femi Osofisona is a feminist.
Yeah.
Because many of his works, they are mostly feminist literatures.
Yeah.
But because of the fact that, okay, we have been stereotyped to maybe some kind of belief that, okay, it has to be, as Funke listed earlier, it has to be placing women above men, it has to be demonizing men, it has to be making men look like they are not worth it. So we have always not seen that aspect of the African culture until now. Even while it was evident in the pre-colonial time, even till now, we still see the examples of situations like that, where we are not, we are more like living malaria to cure meningitis.
I'm not cutting you guys. I just want us to jump into the heart of our conversation. So now, we move into the struggle of anti-colonial movements, the anti-colonial movements. Now, we've talked about the pre-colonial foundation, so we can establish one fact from what both of you have said, that we establish one fact that we are known with we've never been from a culture where we subjugate them to, As a matter of fact, this proverb that says that a woman's does not have any translation in any African language, and the European proverb, it does not have any translation in African language. be it Hausa, Igbo, I don't know. So we never.
Definitely.
So in our pre-colonial foundation settings, we've always had women involvement. Yeah, as much we even honor the queen mother, we honor the royal queen, even the wives of the queen. We bestow honor to them. We have them in part of our governance. And when we talk about the Yakesons, no, so the Kinkin which are the real super eagles of Nigeria, you know who I'm talking about. You know what I mean by the real super eagles of Nigeria. We know that in a society, you do not mess with some certain women. As a matter of fact, from the work of Odunlade Adekola Osha, you can see that some certain group of super eagles actually summoned him to come and honor them in their meeting. So these are the pre-colonial foundations that we know. The women are very powerful, that we give them the place of that honor, that we know that we do not mess with them. You know, someone's what I'm saying. I do not. There are excesses in every society. Don't get
Thank
me
you.
now. But that excess is not something that we encourage in our society. It is not generally encouraged as it was encouraged in Europe, the European society. Now, good, we had the colonial experience. Then the anti-colonial struggle now gave birth to likes of Jamila Bupacha of Algeria and our own favorite Fumilayo Kuti. Now let's talk about the anti-colonial movement and how this feminism movement crept in, where people mistook to be a Tonzu against man patriarchal system. It's actually a Tonzu nationalistic identity, involvement of women in nationalism, or let's say nationalism. Yes, that's the word. So how did we get that confused? Bablo, you can see here. How did we get that confused to be a feminist movement against patriarchal system when it was an anti-colonial movement?
When Fumilayo, one thing about history is that we all have different versions of it anyway. So when Fumilayo Ransome Putin was advocating for whatsoever she was advocating for, I am very sure that she did not term it feminism, because it was associated with so many things, more like outside the oppression of women and all those things. I think there should still be other things that were associated with it outside feminism. But looking at the role she played, we can categorically say that okay, it's some part of the feminist ideology. Because at the end of the whole thing, they were able to achieve what they were looking for, which I think they sent a king into exile or something like that. And if you check what they were advocating for, it was more like some part of it was like feminism. It was like a feminist movement.
All right, Funke, I really want you to touch the aspect why could we target a patriarchal kind of system? Why Fumilayo Ransome Kuti has been reduced to the only woman that first drove car in Nigeria? Why we were not given detailed history of our role playing in nationalism, even in secondary schools?
That's why I nodded when you said, of course, there are times where there are excesses. Now, if I bring it up from the fact that, fine, the African system recognized the place of women, gave credence to them, but was it enough? Was it really enough? That's one. Then two, when we look at nationalist movements, you hardly ever find the names of women. You hardly. When I mean hardly, it means when you have when you're looking at it, you look at 70 to 20, that's 70 to 30. That's why someone like Sojourner Truth wrote Ain't I a Woman? Because being in exile as an African slave, she emancipated herself, she learned to write, she did a lot of things, and then she wrote Ain't I a Woman? Now, when she was writing Ain't I a Woman, it was as a result of the fact that there are a lot of things that were given to her male counterpart, recognitions that were given to her that weren't given to her. Now, look at what you said, that why would we only know Fumilayo Ransome Kuti as the first woman who ever drove a car?
When she was involved in national
look. Now, and that's what we're talking about. Look, do you know this name? Oyinkansola Abayomi?
It rings a bell.
Yeah. In 1944, she organized Women's Party in Lagos for better representation of women. There's about Women's Riot of 1922.
Everybody knows, but
Of course.
Yeah.
it wasn't profound.
Yes. Then after that, in 1924, 3,000 women protested again. Eastern women. They protested against the rulership of, the system of oppression that was going on in their society.
Okay, so this can be said after we made contact with the colonialism, right?
Yes.
So can we say that could have some sort of a fusion of culture that has been inherited from?
That's what I was saying, that there is no way we're going to talk about feminism in this era that we're not going to talk about the fact that there's been a fusion. Now, listen, that doesn't mean that there were no movements, there were no associations, there were no groups that fought about the little petty things that were going on in their society. When you talk about super egos, the flying egos, listen, if you look at the deep roots of why do they say, you don't mess with them?
Okay, what even led to the super egos of Nigeria? For those that don't understand what super egos means, that we can't use as a well-cultured person, we can't use all our mouths. I mean, Pablo, we just use cathedral wisdom, call them. So that's cathedral. We give them super egos of Nigeria. So what, now, Pablo, do you think it's actually some sort of a revolt,
a rebellion
that has happened against the subjugation of women in our pre-colonial foundations that led to the egos of Nigeria? Pablo, please jump in.
You're talking about the football team, right?
The King Wounds.
Okay. No, I'm very sorry. It could be because when you are oppressed, or when you feel like you're oppressed, you have two options: it's either you accept or you refuse. Total acceptance or total refusal. And when you refuse totally, you might take any means just to make your intention known. I think probably that was the best means available to them then, and that's why they opted for that.
Because it made them powerful.
Definitely.
And
respected.
They became respected, and they became a threat in the land. And people don't mess with them. And that even encourages more women to go join the super egos because now,
definitely, or once you are attacked, or once they know that okay, you belong to this sect, they would definitely respect you. So you command that respect.
Okay. For you guys that don't understand the super egos of Nigeria, go and watch.
I don't understand very late.
Go and watch.
I think I know.
Once you see who King who is, then you understand those that we are referring to as the super egos of Nigeria. So my question to the house again is this: we now have the second wave. We've talked about the first wave now. We have the second wave, which I tag as fighting for equality under the law. Now, fighting for equality. Truthfully, we see this happening in Cameroon with Teresa Sitabella, and we saw this in Wangari Maathai in Kenya. Now, my question is: was it more like the colonialism experience made we African people now see that, oh, so women, this is how these people treat their own women, and I think we could emulate them. So, most of the constitution that we operate by with in African countries were, copied and say lifted from this European society. So could we see the reason why it was responsible for having patriarchal tone in our laws? What Funke, please jump in. I can see your reaction already, so I want you to give us that.
Darren, if we are going to be truthful and we are going to be sensitive, we would know that the world is largely patriarchal. Not forget maybe African society or so. Even in
Have you ever
Africa,
seen
we
a
respect
female
the
pope?
fact that women are their place. But when I mean their place, I meant their little place. There were
Very
certain
correct.
women who made names, who did extraordinary. But I'm telling you, you don't have to be extraordinary to get what you deserve as a man. That was why I said until 1928, as basic as women suffrage, the ability to vote and be voted for. And that is why recently, when we hear a woman is the governor of a certain state in Nigeria, what do? We jump up and say, wow, finally. You would never do that if a man became, because it's history repeating itself all over again.
It has become like a norm.
It's a norm. It's not like it has become like a norm. So if tomorrow a woman becomes the president of Nigeria, oh, you hear the first woman to become the president of Nigeria. No one is going to talk about the first man, because obviously
Is
men
the
are supposed to be.
first president, the first president.
The normal thing, yeah.
It's like it's a birthright. And that's why when you look at the movie Anikulapo, Arolake did something. She attacked Akala, the bird, and got the thing from Akala. What did she do?
She traded it for love.
No, she didn't trade it for love. I wrote something.
Well,
I said,
you might not be able to conclude on that, actually. She might definitely trade it for love.
I said,
But
yeah. I said, gender is a social construct. Yeah?
okay.
The movie itself is set in the 70s. A woman without a man is considered to be incomplete, you know?
But we never saw Shola Shoborale like that.
But then, there were several marriage proposals. You know, when you read a text, you read from context and content. It doesn't mean that because they didn't show it, that some people are not talking about that promiscuous woman, don't go near her.
But I'm not trying to oppose your view. I'm trying to let us get clarification so people could actually enjoy this conversation. If the society was that judgmental, do you really think she would thrive?
How many of our kind did you have? That's why I said it doesn't mean that there were no notable ones, few sparse ones. But how many? Like if in the Rise of the Spectre, if when Bashorun saw Arolake again, what did Bashorun say? How did you come about amassing such wealth?
Because it's straight for a woman, right?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Now I said
wait. Are you sure it's straight for a woman, or the question is an honest of question?
She's young, she's unmarried, it's strange. We're not gonna lie.
Pablo, please jump in right now. Jump in. I think I'm the only one opposing. Why? And I'm not trying to oppose.
No, because she has the floor now, so that's why. Well, she's right when she said the world is largely patriarchal, and that's truth. I would not want to negate that fact, because in fact, I think nature designed it that way, or probably the creator designed it that way. Because even when you read the Holy Scriptures, you would ask some question like, why should it be Adam first?
Now, Pablo, you have been caught in a web of what is going to be my next question.
Wait. Dimi, wait. Let me quickly conclude on the character Arolake, because I want us to link it with the movie, the way we said we were going to do. Now, look, she took the stuff from Akala and gave it to a man because the man was supposed to be more worthy to make use of it. Now, listen, love or no love, if it was Akala, I mean, it is Taro that killed Akala and took the stuff from him, I was able to raise.
He wouldn't have given it to.
No.
Definitely.
You think so, right?
Yeah.
No, definitely.
He wouldn't.
You're saying definitely, like you're
Yeah,
selling us out already.
He wouldn't have. He wouldn't have. Of course,
Because
yeah,
he would
being
consider
logical.
that.
All right.
Oh,
I'm joking,
Yeah,
but you're
yeah.
you know,
He wouldn't have.
until recently, some places I can't really figure out believe that women were not, the system of women is not supposed to fly in an aeroplane. That the speed was going to be too much for them. Can you imagine?
Some school
Now,
of thought, right?
I don't know. So, look, it is not that there were no places for women, but were the places as equal as it should be. A man could amass wealth. No one is going to question it. When it comes to a woman.
But now, I think this conversation now, we still at the colonial era, because I think I have a different opinion in this modern society. But we are coming. We are working on a journey, and which I appreciate you. And Pablo, I'm not going to let you go because you are the one who brought cathedral conversation into this now.
Okay.
You said you think nature. I can pardon you for that statement. You think people can pardon you for that statement?
Okay.
Now said you think God, the maker. Now this is an issue people are having, most especially feminists, Christian feminists are having, that even some certain religion encourage this patriarchal domination. So now,
100.
would you, as a cathedral person, that you now understand how the street people feel, even cathedral women too are complaining, what would you have to say about feminism waves and the God concept?
Okay. I will pick it from where I stopped. Because if we would be frank with ourselves, a lot of things like 80% of, now I'm not very conversant with the Quran, but with the Bible, 80% of the things in the Bible supports the patriarchal tradition. Sorry, I have some visitors. Just let me check. Few minutes.
Olufunke, we brought this our arguments from university. We brought it like I remember back then they would argue prove in Jane Eyre or in Hair. I've never been a feminist. I've always been a humanist.
Yeah.
I believe in the butcher kind of going to get
that's why I try to explain what feminism is and shouldn't be.
Yeah, I've never been a feminist. I'm a womanist, and thank God, my story. A widow raised me. Without a woman, I would amount to nothing in life. In fact, without the discipline and dedication of my mother, who I honored by writing my autobiography through a contact lens, titling it "The Son of a Widow," I would never, I repeat, amount to any. I respect women, the woman figure, but I do not subscribe to the fact that if my woman my mother had actually bought into this, feminist movement that is going on is right now, I don't think we are taking sons will survive an inch of what we survive. So we'll come back to that. Pablo, you were saying something.
Yeah. I don't know. We believe that the Bible was written out of, it stemmed from inspiration from God. But you read the Bible to some extent and you start asking some questions like, okay, the Bible did not reveal the gender. I think the Bible revealed the gender of Jesus. Like it was a boy, a young boy. So why was Jesus a boy? Why should Jesus be a boy?
He had to be a gender.
Yeah, of course, but why should Jesus be?
Was he born through? Why was he born through a woman?
Well, that's another valid conversation right there.
Bolu, I would like to say that. I am not an extremist.
Do
you understand? Because when you look at some things, some questions, I just believe they shouldn't be asked.
Oh, we should ask questions. I think.
I mean, when you're looking at it from cathedral, that's why I said I just believe some questions.
I like that. Thank you for using my language. Thank you for using my
now
from the cathedral perspective.
Yeah,
okay.
from the cathedral perspective, because the things of the spirit, the ordinary eye, no fit know am.
Okay.
You know fit.
Well, let me jump in here. A question was asked, and someone said something that we even got series of female that took the Bible. Well, Okpayemi, what they are saying is that it is not the fact that it should be celebrated, because it is not common. That's why it is being looked upon. The manly thing is a normal thing. So can you get that?
If a man goes to war, yeah, he's going to war. Good,
but the book that happened once now became there's a you get. So that's the conversation right there. If you can get it. So that was why I had to pick our pre-colonial foundations. That we had Dahomey warriors. That's a norm in our pre-colonial foundation. So people knew that there's a city that you don't mess with, that women are warriors. So I don't think you are going to go there and see a woman and say you at no. This is someone that will equate you in battle and kill you mercilessly. So can you see the perspective of what we are talking about here? Now, another question right here is got it to another movement. Now, the rise of grassroots. So we have now, this is the modern feminism. We now talk about the rise of grassroots and intersectional feminism. This is where feminism gets me pissed, personal, because we have race conversation here, we have class conversation here, we have sexuality conversation here, and we have. I think this is where the category of Chimamanda lies, and the likes of Tomi Adeyemi and all. This is where things get very cumbersome. It confuses me, because why some people are interested in this aspect of, oh, let us talk about the race and the class. Some people are involved in sexuality, and So now let's have a conversation around that, since it is the modern era. This feminism wave is where many people are sitting down right now and are saying this all feminism is all has to do. It's all about sexuality. Either you are sexuality, or you are defending your choice of sexuality. So now let's talk about that feminism in that perspective, and feel free to link any work of art. In juxtaposition to a big shout out to, who is this the Egyptian writer that we studied back in university.
Nawal El-Saadawi.
Nawal El-Saadawi, that wrote God's Dial by the Nile. Now we can look at that perspective and see that she was politically oriented and religiously liberating. So now let's talk feminism in recent time, with this intersectionalism involved in feminism. Shoot, please.
Now, Benjamin Carson, the mother, said something. He said, Ben, people are just people. Humans are just humans. Everywhere in the world, we were first human before we are attributed to any race or any class. Do you understand?
Yes.
Cathedral, the only book we talk say the act of man, they desperately wicked. Who fit know one? I can tell you something today, and you can twist it all you like. It doesn't matter. Yorùbá máa ní wèrè wo náà máa fún ní ọkọ tí kò lè roko sí ọ̀dọ̀ rẹ̀. I usually say something. I've never engaged in a physical combat, like physically engaged someone in a fight. I've never done it. And mostly the reason behind it I feel that the reason people fight is because everybody believe they are right. I prove I'm right, you prove you are right. If you don't agree with me, let's hang it out. We blows.
I'm laughing because it's not true for boys, though. We were white, and Pablo can testify. We are just white.
So now, when you look at the modern wave of feminism, when you look at it, some of it are just plain unexplainable. They are just hiding under the tag. It is no longer. That's why I said, when I was introducing, I said what feminism is not. It is not an oppression of men. It should not be an oppression of men. It should not be effeminating men. There's this text we read. It's a drama where the woman became king. I've forgotten. You read it? No, not Efua. Not Edufa. It's not Edufa.
The woman became
Wedlock of the Gods.
No, not Wedlock of the Gods. There's a particular one where the king died, and then a woman became king, and she was.
It's my book now on the blue.
No, not
Naira
yes.
Wazobia.
There's a
Reign of Wazobia.
if when I remember, I'm going to tell you. So what I'm saying is, practically, why did feminism? Why is there a movement for feminism? I said it's an advocacy because of misrepresentation. It was not equal. It wasn't equal. That is why in the first instance there has to be there is an Equality Act that was established in 2010, which gives right to everybody, right? You know, because they discovered that okay, maybe people that have disabilities are not well represented. Let's get the right for them. There's an equality. Why did Equality Act have to come into place? It is because of misrepresentation. Do you understand? I'm linking it to why do we have to have the discussion of feminism? Why don't we ever have the discussion of men should be given more place in the society because they already have all the place?
We say that women are not taking up because someone also said that we have more women. The women are also leading in countries, organizations, top organizations now. We have mostly
when we still bring out the statistics, we're still gonna open our mouths.
Even when women outnumber men.
What?
Even when women outnumber men, like the population of women.
Yes.
More than men.
When the population of women are more than men. When you look at the reigns of power and who is holding what, you're gonna know that there is still a large diversity.
Definitely.
Now, when you're talking about the modern feminism, what it should be really is emancipation. And I'm telling you,
a big shout out to Chimamanda Adichie. Maximum respect to that lady.
Yeah.
She's doing amazing job. I love her. And Tomi Adeyemi too. Maximum respect to her. Femi Oshofison, Niyo Shudari, the likes. These guys are fantastic. They are prof. They are so continue, please.
Now, when you look at the concluding, I was going to conclude with the fact that Kunle Afolayan did something with the character of Arolake. She emancipated. The first production, Arolake gave everything that made her to a man. And what happened? Because obviously she couldn't have a child and all that. Yeah. A lot of things happened. She faced she. Now, in her character development, Kunle Afolayan did something. Made her to go through all those stress and met all these people that gave her something that led to her being so wealthy. You remember?
Yeah.
Now, did she give it to a man?
She's wiser.
Now, emancipation. She emancipated. She became conscious that she could actually control her own life, what she wanted. She now knows what she wants. Just like the older version of the emancipated African woman, Awaru. Awaru was once married, but she said something to Bashorun. Said, Bashorun, me le shame more. Why? Because now she had tasted in quotes freedom. I didn't mean that being married is in cage. I am married. My husband is on my life, is watching now. It doesn't mean that you are being caged.
Big shout out to him.
think you should see. So it doesn't mean you are being caged, but there are some things that it is said, it is believed that because because you're a woman, you have to do this, you have to do that. Now, Awanu said no longer who she wants to relate with, she wants to relate with. What she wants to do, she wants to do. If she chooses not to be a beach seller tomorrow and she wants to be a weaver, she can go ahead. She doesn't need to consult. Emancipation. And that is what.
And I think this is where the modern feminism are actually paying their attention with the fact that they feel like, and this could also be, you would agree with me, that they could actually hide under this not to be respected as well.
That's why I started
So
with humans are
I understand
humans, people are people, everyone is everyone. Human beings you can choose to do. It doesn't.
Pablo,
I'm a firm believer. Okay, yeah. Please.
Well, the
I'm
funny
sorry,
thing is,
Funke,
there
I'm
is
just
a lot of
I
things.
know you guys
I understand. She had a flow for a very long time, so and I gave her the space. The thing is, there is a lot of movements that have hidden under feminism in these contemporary times that are not even feminism. In fact,
Thank you.
you will not be able to categorize it under a particular
Anything.
term. No, it's more like probably sadism or something,
A
because
rebellion.
you will see there is this kind of hatred that this natural hatred, this so-called feminists would try to portray under the guise of feminism. And gullible people, gullible ladies would start following blindly without knowing, like she said, feminism should be more like a massive, and it's stemmed from something. Like it stemmed from it's more like a response to the patriarchal tradition, more like a man oppressing, or let's say the larger population of men oppressing women. But in a situation where probably you are married and you are not oppressed in any way, you have all the liberty.
why do you need to be so big?
Why
As a matter of fact,
are you
so as a matter of fact,
advocating?
wait. Even when life, now this is where most men have issues. Even when life has not treated you rightly, we hold on to something. Come and say, why do I have to
Yeah,
go all out and say I hate all women? We don't do that as men. If you
definitely,
get come now,
because of
we
course,
suffer.
to
That's the
me,
truth. We suffer, but even
you
as
know.
we have all of this stuff scheme
No,
to
some
adapt.
feminists, let me say some, because they are not really feminists. Some so-called feminists have serious inferiority complex, and they are not even aware of it.
That's what I'm
Because
trying to clarify. Pablo, thank you. Bablo, thank you.
yeah,
That's what I'm trying.
He don't call you Pablo, but
Yeah,
call me Pablo, man.
Bablo, that's what I'm trying to say. That because someone says I'm I'm a prince, doesn't mean the person is a prince. Does the person have the bloodline of a prince
Of
or
course,
of a king?
no.
Shodeke now we know is related to a king.
I do now.
yeah, Elulu.
If I come now and say, I'm affiliated with you, therefore I'm also of the Shodeke kingship. Am I right?
No,
I
No.
have my mouth. I can use it to proclaim whatever I want to proclaim. It
no.
doesn't mean that it is. That is why some people claim to be of cathedral, and you know that they are not. Some people come with the intentions of, oh, I can do anything for cathedral, but they can't. That's why the Bible says that. It says Jesus said to the man, if you want to do this, okay, go do this and do this. The man said, no, but
You want on me streets for cathedral?
it's not good. That's not possible.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? The fact that some people call themselves feminists doesn't mean
Okay,
they
So
so
are.
that's
A
why I
lot of
call them
people
the
are hiding
so-called
under the
feminists.
term to
um
just
um I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
sorry.
it's fine.
Interject. I know you guys. I've known you from way back. Now we dey scatter class now. So I just say even lecturer for our phone, if they hold, if you hold our conversation like this. But I wish we had more time.
Yeah.
We'll be calling this a wrap. I will take some few questions and I'll throw the last question where we just call it a wrap. Someone said, Skooky said, the fact is men and women cannot be the same in society. Let's be real with ourselves. Well, the question that's what has actually led to the problem we have right now. And we
That's
cannot
a road.
we cannot also expect them. No, let me answer him. We cannot also expect them to take every things that are coming their way as if they don't have a choice. We are all members of the heart. We are all members of this planet. So yeah, the fact that we feel that things are going, in a way, certain way, right now does not make it the right way. So everybody has a right to fight for themselves to
Up until up until recently, there's a country where women are banned from driving.
Okay.
I mean, who
The
banned?
fact
Okay,
is
who
that
banned women from
when there's a
driving?
policy,
let me take
when there's a
this.
policy,
Wait, I'm sorry.
when there's a policy against the women, it's more pronounced than when we have policy against men. Myself, I'm a feminist. Do you understand? In some ways, but I'm not more like I'm a kind of I balance it because
Yeah.
of course you'll not be choosing the good sides and you'll be leaving the bad sides. That okay, women should okay. Of course, there was an argument one time that a woman should not wake up 4 p.m. That's not right to some extent. But of course, there's some things that if you claim there should be equal rights, then it should not be one-sided because there are some things. To me, the
Just
fact
like the
that we are
question,
even arguing that
Funke,
which gender is best,
Funke,
which
just like recently, I, I raised the question online. Excuse me, and the question was this: where are all the feminists in Ukraine when they suggested that they should move out the women and children and the men should remain and fight? So you want to tell me
you understand.
there's no single feminist that told me, no, don't treat me like that. I'm going to die for
You
my country.
understand?
So,
But when there are policies like that, then nobody would raise eyebrow.
so this now boils down to this. I have this, I have this notion which I just want to throw to you, and I'm going to ask you a question. I feel that we need to play our role perfectly, and we should not overplay the role. As much as men are also we know we cannot go back and start feeling guilty for what has happened. No, let us talk about how we move on from here. So as much as okay, fine, we say that this is what you want to be heard. Okay, you are leading. We don't have a problem. I don't think modern men right now. I've not come across one. None of my friends have a problem and say I cannot work under a woman. Ebi Mapai. No, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about. I cannot be in a country where a woman is the senator or president. You will suffer. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about. I will not go to school where a woman is the VC or vice. You are just being a modern idiot. But now the thing is, we have rules. Clearly, we know, and there are obvious rules that we know that this role seems masculine. Let us go to the simplest form. I don't want to go to the to the top cadre. Let's talk about, let's say, people climbing the mast, going to the pole, doing things, dangerous stuff. We know that is more masculine. Natural,
That's the point I was about coming from.
adrenaline pumping in us. We are just naturally wired that way. Not that we are using that to diminish the female gender, but we know that women can play just like nature. You make mention of nature that time, Bablo, and I said I
Yeah,
forgive you. I
nature
won't argue on it.
design it that
Because
way.
nature designed women to carry to be impregnated, to carry we don't know how it feels. We love you. We can only feel your pain because we love you, but we don't know how it feels exactly to be pregnant. And I don't think we can ever know it. You just describe it for us. We can just have that feeling. This girl, this woman that I love, see how that's how we will be responsible. That is nature already telling us that we have role to play. So I cannot alter nature and say I want to be pregnant, no matter how much I love you, Funke. Me ò lè lóyún fún ẹ. Understand? I cannot be. Nature has actually designed our role for us. So I think we can take a clue from nature, but like I said, we should not overplay our role so that we are now using that to subjugate our own fellow member and say we are reducing them to nothing. That is not allowed, and that will not be allowed. So my last question, because I know we can spend 2 years on this. Ah, Jesus Christ.
I'm telling you, because it's not like
People are not ready for. I know these guys, they are intellectual. So now we have challenges and critiques going on about feminism. So we have the socio-cultural dynamic and where we want to project it to the future. And to be honest, I've always been asking my guests whenever they come. I don't just ask them about contemporary issues. We know, just like we have conversation, we can predict, we can just project. We don't necessarily need to be right. We're not alpha and omega. But now with the trend of things going on right now, with what we've seen feminism, what we saw it to be, what it was, what it is now, what is the projection of where this wavelength of diversity, intersectionalism involved in feminism, where is it leading to? Where do you think it is? So, Pablo, I want you to jump in.
okay.
Then,
I think it's going to get to a stage where both gender will be able to identify their area of strength and their area of weaknesses. Because, like you said, there are some things that men can do and women can also do it, but it would cost them more energy in some cases than men. And there's some things that women can do that if men should try it, it will also strain them. Do you understand? So I'm envisaging for a kind of a future where we will learn to balance this thing that okay, she said something that okay, we are all people, like people. I'm talking about Funke now, but the truth is the fact that a man, we cannot deny the fact that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. I'm not coming from a patriarchal view now. I'm just trying to state what's fact. Because if we still continue to advocate for this feminism in the wrong way, we will still keep on getting the wrong results. And I think that's one of the problems affecting Africa generally now. Because there are diverse views to feminism outside the main purpose of feminism itself. And if we continue to do that, then it's more or less like we are just we are not hitting the nail on the head.
okay.
So I hope for a future where we learn to identify the strengths and the weaknesses and we fashion because at the point we realize that the attention has been drawn from the boy child to the girl child, and now we are now advocating for the boy child now.
So
Okay,
it is
because you
just
understand
so
because we are not
we must
balancing
get
it. We have of course that the girl child is being campaigned as weak or something. Does not mean that
the boy child
the
also
boy
follow
child also has the check back ways. Do you
that's
understand?
a big shout out to Uzodima Iwela, the writer who wrote Beast of No Nation. You can see when when war happens at a place, you can see who we use for child soldiering. You know what child soldiering is? These boys are just 12 years old. People, they just want to enjoy life, go to the river, bath, do things. Now you're putting gun in their hand, they are taking hard substance. If you watch that movie, you can see how Agu could not even become normal again. They needed to. So you could see that the boy child also is vulnerable.
Vulnerable, you understand my
So it's
point?
not just the girl child alone. The boy child is highly. But now we can see now with the sexual preference of pedophiles and things going on right now, we can see that nobody is safe. Not even the girl child alone is vulnerable.
Not even the boy child, not even the girl child.
So thank you for that. Funke, please, what is your projection? How do you think this feminism movement is going to be? And what's your projection, like your
Okay.
submission?
Um, the truth is the world is in chaos. You know, the first day my baby was able to sit on her own, I cried. I cried because as a parent, I realized, oh, she's getting independent. Soon she's gonna be able to walk. Soon she's gonna be able to do things. Soon she's gonna be alone and face the world. And I wasn't ready. The world is dysfunctional. And seriously, I'm an optimist. But it's gonna get worse. That's the truth. Now, Bablo said something. We need to create balance. The inability to create balance is what has led us to this place. And if we fail to still see, I can see on air, an average lady cares more about fashion and being trendy than leadership. Is one of the things that is here. If we still go about with such thinking and all that, if we cannot balance it up, we're gonna be in much more trouble than we are right now. Like you said, I projected sometime back that you see, you justify this, you justify that, you justify everything. There's gonna be a time when they're gonna start justifying that it's just a sexual preference if someone wants to sleep with a child.
The pedophile and shameful. The pedophile case. It's even a woman, supposed feminist.
That's what I'm saying.
University to defend such nonsense. Saying
that is what I am saying. That it is gonna become so. It is already dysfunction. There's already a dysfunction, and it's gonna continue if we can't balance things up. Because we are a generation that wants to believe everyone is right at all times, and that is a
and you
lot
can't
of
tell
trouble.
you can't tell anybody that they are wrong. They'll take you as the enemy.
Yeah,
They'll even blast you, tell you people can do whatever they want with their life.
And so we have a duty to ourselves and to the society. You need to learn. You need to unlearn some things. You need to relearn some things. Because if you don't, there's going to be a lot of trouble. And it won't be for only you. Now, I see that this wave is going to get to a point where people are just going to be like, do whatever you want to do. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And it's already coming up.
It's even crazy with the invention of this augmented reality, virtual reality. They are putting people to permanent sleep these days, and people are not even. Social media made it worse, but I think what is coming, people don't understand how this virtual reality, augmented reality, is going to even put people to permanent sleep, put your brain into permanent hibernation, because social media has made everybody bought into illusion already.
You understand? Some people are living in the social media world, and it's a kind of dual existence.
Yeah.
Already, and this augmented reality now is going to even make it worse, make matters worse. And if we do not, like Funke said, if we do not unlearn some things, it's going to even be worse. Because like this feminism thing now, a lot of people till today do not know what the movement is all about.
And
because they had celebrities saying that
God bless
for the husband,
God bless you for touching the word celebrity. The truth is, what people call celebrity and influencer these days, I think there's a rise of people who have low self-esteem in recent time, that they just want to worship people. And this is one of the reasons why I believe Street and Cathedral is going to fulfill a lot of purposes. Why? Because I'm going to keep it real with people. Street and people need to see. I see that people, I have intelligent folks like you, and you guys are so real to the extent that you are not even bothered about all these I need likes on Instagram and all, but people need to hear your voice. And these are the reasons why I feel like God has actually made me to be in a position where I am going to bring reality to people using the social media, because people are really bought into this. You wear this, whatever, you sell this perception, you go to a nice location background, you don't even know the reality these people are living, and you're just, and it crept into every movement right now. It has crept into Cathedral. That's why you see Cathedral right now, they just want to design the pulpit. They don't care if the congregation is under, the roofing sheets or whatever is leaking. But as long as what the media is going to project in the altar, the pulpit seems like a mega billion-dollar church, whatever cathedral, it is okay. Illusion. And we need to trade, we need to start letting people understand what reality is. People are not ready for reality. That's why they want to leave. You see people now, you ask them, what do you do for a living? They say, I'm a TikToker. I'm sorry, I'm not that old school, but I don't understand why you are telling me TikToker. I don't understand why you think feminism means you can sleep around, or you think the best way to portray your patriarch in this recent time is to need some label for that.
My human being is here.
It's okay. Yeah, boy, she's giving us a shout out. So, like, I'm just saying, but boss, the real boss is that.
It's
So
all
we need
right,
to start
darling.
really. So a big shout out to you guys. I really appreciate. I enjoyed. Very
Yeah.
sure. I people who joined also enjoyed. I'm going to release on my wall, on my post, and I'm going to post it on YouTube. Subsequently, all this episode will be on Spotify. I'm working on something so to release on Spotify. But I want to say thank you to you guys. I know you guys are busy. You guys are very. In fact, this Bablos guy, I caught right down there like this. This man, well, me and you talk maybe for years.
Yeah, that
Pablo,
be
I don't know you tell us as they find Pablo.
Ah,
Yeah.
did me now, did me. So you have to believe it until me they talk.
So, Funke, thank you very much. A big shout out to your baby girl, big shout out to your husband, and also Pablo, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Feminism Waves in Africa. A big shout out to Evangelist Mike Bamiloye Ekushesa Olan Sagbara Dotun. A big shout out to Mr. Kunle Afolayan. I don't know whether it is true what I heard about Afolayan, but I remember one of my literature teacher back in secondary school said, even during piracy time, that when you go to maybe Alabama, on piracy film on Afolayan. I don't know what that means for streets. You know what it means. So a big shout out to him. And you know his father was also in the movie industry at some point in time.
Definitely, I do love.
Yeah, a big shout out to Kunle Afolayan. He has been a fantastic movie. And thank you for everyone that joined so much. Street and Cathedral remains every Sunday 4 p.m. I will release the next topic on my wall. I'm bringing interesting personality next, and these guys are vast. One is from Cameroon, and the other one is from the northern part of Nigeria. That lady, oh God, she's fire. So you guys are going to enjoy the next episode just like you did right now. And thank you guys. Do you have any closing remark before I just call it a quit?
Yeah, I would like to say that um just like we have pre-colonial, the colonial, and the post-colonial, and of African literature, African feminism is going through waves, and basically you're just gonna pick whatever suits. You can't download everything hook, line, and sinker. It's not gonna work because there are a lot of pirated ones out there. So you have to pick the original and stick to it.
Pablo,
Thank you.
any
Yeah. Well, I want to ask a question. You said pre-colonial, colonial, and the post-colonial. I'm thinking we should have another phase already, sir.
Yeah. There's
Maybe
modernism now.
artificial intelligence phase
Yeah,
or
there's
something.
modernism now.
wait, no, what did you call it?
I know contemporary, even modernism. We have contemporary
Yeah.
after modernism.
Yeah. We have modernism, we have
We
contemporary.
have
Yeah.
contemporary, but they still all belong to the category of post-colonial,
Yes.
the post-colonial space.
But
So yeah,
I think we should take that colonial off the conversation because that's actually an annoying sub theme for many people now. People, most especially this Gen Z, they don't want to hear anything
But it's
colonial.
a part of history.
we cannot just negate that. You cannot just remove
You can't
that.
take it away.
But a lot has happened. That's what they're trying to say. That
Mm.
But
right now,
even
But
if
first,
a
there
lot
was
has happened,
colonialism.
there
Why
are
are
a
you
lot of
trying to
that has
deny
happened that has
what
dictated what is happening right now. So if it has
and of course,
dictated
there
what is
was
happening right now,
colonialism.
there is no writing it off.
well,
Yeah.
we are all students of issues, and that's why I said social cultural dynamics. So it's open to people. I'm not people. People will decide. But like you said, I think you are absolutely right. And thank you very much. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Bolu, it was nice being with you today. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a very, very long time. Wow.